Are you looking to get more knowledge on how to build your own production company? Are you looking for tips and tricks on how to really get it started? Well, in today's video, we are going to discuss how to start your production company coming up next. What is up, guys? Antoine here once again from Mad Talk. Mad Talk is showing how creatives and entrepreneurs are making a difference in their everyday world. And today, I have the pleasure of speaking with James Ward of Fruition Live Media. I put a little emphasis on that because I messed up that intro a couple of times. And creative content on demand. And today, we're going to discuss with you how to really build your own video production business. So before we get into that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on all your social medias and share this, especially if you get value from it, and hit that notification bell to always know when we have new content coming out. But that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to James. James, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here today and share whatever it is that I learned uh, and some of the things that you don't want to do as well
Hmm.
in the industry. So, I'm happy to have this platform and talk about, my journey and the ongoing of the journey of, having a video production and making it a quality of life for me and my family where, we're profiting from it. So, and helping people at the same time. So it's a great thing.
Hey, and honestly, I'm excited to speak to you. I'm surprised, he's still here after I messed up the intro like three or four, five times. We did this 10 times, guys, to get this interview correct. Anyway, anyway, I do appreciate having you here, and I'm so excited to speak to you. And I think the best way to jump in is let's just talk about, a little bit about your early life. How did you get started? What made you go into video production?
Oh man. So we go way, way back when I was about maybe not too far back, but I was probably around 13 or 14 and born and raised in Texas. And I remember my mom just looking at me at the time when I was asking, Mom, can you buy me a video tape recorder? I want that for my birthday or Christmas, anytime. And there's a store chain called Dillard's in the South. And that's where we would go, and they had an electronic department. I would see that video camera and I'm like, please, can you buy this for me? Now, mind you, my mom, she was raising six of us, the only parent in the household. So she's raising six of us, and I'm the baby. And for her to purchase something like that at the time, they were just expensive. I guess they are expensive today, but for that time, they were super expensive. And so one day, man, she surprised me with a video camera, and it just went from there. Who would have known that that would have been something that birthed out a career in me? So, with that said, I tell parents now, listen to your kids. If there's something that they're excited about, invest into them, because you never know what that's going to birth out of them as a career wise. Because I had that camera, I was videotaping everything. I was annoying people. Put that camera down. So I guess that was my cue that I was going to work in news at the time. But nonetheless, though, as I continue to videotape, now I need to figure out, how do I put all this together. And I don't know if you recall, back in the day, there was called this video thumbs up thing, where you put the VCRs together and you kind of edit your stuff together. And
Hmm.
so I started perfecting that. Eventually, at my high school, we had a media production department. So I signed up for that and got more interested in doing it, because now I'm working with better equipment. Back then, we had the 3/4 inch, where you had the big old bag on the side with the tape and the camera on the side. Everybody having back problems at an early age because they're so heavy.
Got to go
It's,
to the gym if you're doing media
you,
production, guys.
you
Got to
got to
go to the
work
gym.
out, man. Serious. I mean, the tapes were like this big.
Hmm.
And so that's when I really had a big grasp for, like, yo, I want to do this, something in television, something with movies or something like that. But as it turned out, my career pushed toward television. And I started at an entry level at a local TV station, KBTX, in Texas, Bryan College Station area. If you ever heard of Texas A&M, that's the area. And it was a great start because it was a smaller TV station, smaller markets, where you can make mistakes is more forgivable. And it's not a union, so I'm able to do so many different things to, make my experience level even more, better. So I started out just doing tapes back in the day when the anchors would do their presentation on news, and they talk about a certain event. I would push the tape in and hit play so they can see that video what they're talking about. It's called the VO, the voice, and they doing a voiceover over that subject. Or if there's a package, I would hit play and you would hear the reporter talking about, the story. And nowadays they don't do that no more. It's all digital and there's nobody pushing that. That job is obsolete since, I don't know, a long time ago. I'm dating myself, and this wasn't great then, of course. But so I did that. Then I moved over and I worked into the studio running the studio cameras and did that for a while. And one news photographer was leaving and was like, "Hey James, you want to come out and learn about, how to be a news photographer, shoot stories and edit those?" I was like, "Sure." So they were looking to fill his position. I went out with him and I fell in love with it, being able to capture people's stories and do live shots. And then as he left, I progressed on as a news photographer, became chief photographer, and also I worked in the creative service department where it was a smaller station where we were doing commercials for local companies. And there goes how the connection of the production. So I started learning how to produce commercials. A lot of car dealerships where people $1 down, come on down, we got you with $1. No. So I was doing a lot of those things, man. It was pretty funny, but it really put my love like, oh, I love news, but I really love being creative, telling stories for people, businesses. And so I started my own somewhat production company, not like a legit business company, but I was just shooting weddings. And I shot about 3 of those and realized that's not for me. And so I'm like, okay, I got to rethink this, how I'm going to enter into this business. And I was using that same old camcorder that my mom had given me. And so I realized, nah, I'm not a wedding person. I think I'm more of a production person. So as I progressed on and worked in television again in Virginia Beach area, Norfolk actually, I was doing special projects there and also doing editing with non-linear stuff, more stuff with that. And so I got more into doing commercials at that time. And I did a couple of few spots, but I hadn't really started a business. I knew a couple of business people for VA House of Comedy, and I created a commercial for them that did really well for them. And I realized, yes, I still got the gift, what I was doing back in Texas for a company. I need to start doing this for myself, but I didn't have any capital to really invest into getting all the equipment I need to progress on and make them better. So eventually, when I moved to Philadelphia, I'm fast forwarding all this stuff because I know we're not talking about the broadcast, but it has something to do with it.
Hmm.
I worked for a TV station in Philly, and there I met my wife. And from there, we both always had a desire to have our own video production, and wanted to do something to just help people and help ourselves too, because obviously, it costs money to have those things. So we were young. We were like, well, let's just save our money up. We got married and we were saving our money up to buy equipment because we wanted to start debt free. Now, the first thing that we did in terms of starting the business was that we went online to figure out, okay, what do we need to be a legit business? And so we went onto our government page and looked at all the steps and hoops that we had to go through to get our business name. So we got our LLC done. We had someone help us because we wanted it done right. So you can actually do it yourself online, but I always recommend, listen, stay in your lane, and that way, it's done right the first time. And we do our production company like that. There's a lot of things I know how to do, but I know I specialize in certain things. So I stay in my lane and I hire someone to be on the team so that person will get the best benefit from it. That's a little nugget. But anyway, because I know we all try to have a production, we try to do everything, but you got to learn how to manage and
And
get good
delegate.
people, exactly, and who can
Hmm.
make you look good. So you got to trust people too, those who do what they do in order to sustain a profitable business and keeping clients happy as well, and keeping you sane as well, because it'll get demanding. But anyway, not to go too far with that. So we got our LLC, we had our price points, we had everything we needed as a plan for running a business. We knew what type of video production company we were going to be. We wanted to do corporate. videos. And that's the one thing about it. When you start in a video production, find out what is your specialty. What is it that you love to do? I realized I didn't like doing weddings, and and nothing's wrong with them, but it's just I wasn't a wedding guy. I would turn them down. And if anybody asked me, I was like, yeah, $20,000 just to say no. I've yet to say someone say, yes, I'll do it for $20,000. And believe me, I would have showed up with cameras and everything, right?
I'll come with you. I'll show up
Right,
with a
right.
camera right
I'll
behind you.
fly
You
you
can be like,
down, right?
yeah.
Come
Bring
on.
a DSLR. Just be like,
Right, right.
yeah.
So that is, and even family members, I tell them that $20,000. That was my way of just saying no. I don't do weddings, and that's my thing. If you're starting out and you're trying to make money, you may not want to turn down a lot of things. And the reason why I was able to turn down a lot of things because we started our business in 2008, Fruition Life Media, and I was still working full time. My wife was still working full time, and we were doing it part time. So it wasn't our real major bread and butter at the time. And so by doing that, which is, it's time consuming because you're kind of like a monster with two heads. You got a full-time job and you're trying to also run a production company. And both of those don't always line up when people want to shoot. So I made it a point to try to shoot everything on the weekends and either give people a discount. Hey, if you wait for the weekend, I got a more crew. We're not thinned out. We can do it that way. And it's less traffic going on in your office while we're shooting. So, this is a good time. And some ways you got to figure out a way. If you're working full time trying to transition and do your production, you got to find where you can really commit and focus and not be, oh, I got to finish this up because I got to go to work at this time. And so with that said, I did a lot of stuff on the weekends or early mornings if I knew the shoot wasn't going to be as long and whatnot. And then there's been occasions where, I managed teams to go out and shoot where it had to be done on the weekend and I wasn't there. And either me or my wife, somebody was able to, supervise what's going on. And then you just have to trust some people that can do it on their own without, you having to be supervising over them, because you want to hire people that are contract people, whatever the case may be. We contracted people to be able to help you get the things you need on a professional level. So that's how you can, expand your business, is just networking and also partnershiping with people, which, I found myself doing. But the way we started, now I'm going back to the way we started our business, right, was a little bit different. Because remember, I told you, I said we had all the plan and we wanted to do it debt free, but us saving our money, we didn't really have. By the time we saved up for something, we're gonna buy this and we can save up and predict it. I'm like, wait a minute, that'll be obsolete with this because the way technology is coming out. So how are we gonna do this and started debt free? We just might have to go and get some capital from a bank like everybody else. But ours was a little bit different. So we were at church one time and there was a gentleman named Dr. Siddiqui speaking at our church that we attended. And during this time, this was when the government was buying all the SD channels and making everybody transition to HD. I don't know if you remember that time period,
Yeah.
but he was trying to raise money so he can continue having his ministry still broadcast on TV. And the government, I think, was giving out some small grants, but not enough money for people to really transfer over because it was expensive. It was a new technology. And so we were like, well, why don't we just sell our money we saved to this guy? At least somebody can do something with it, because I don't think we're going to get our video production up because the way we want to do it was debt free, was almost next impossible unless you already have money saved up to buy all this equipment or go get a loan.
Mhm.
And that's the normal way of doing it. But we did ours a little bit different. About a week or two later, when we sold into this person, we got a phone call from one of my wife's friends who has a business. And they were like, hey, your wife was telling me that you guys are starting a video production. This is great because I did something a year ago and I didn't like what the production company did. I know you both work in television. I'm sure you're going to do a great job. I want you guys to come and do this video because we're going to be giving away a home and so on and so forth, right? So I'm like, yeah, that's great, but we ain't got no we ain't got no equipment, And at the time, I didn't realize you can rent equipment too, though. But I really never wanted to rent anything. I like to just have my own. And so they were like, well, why don't you bring all your paperwork down? Let's see what you got, and maybe we can figure out how we can make this happen. I'm like, okay, well, let me go down there. I guess they missed the part that I don't have no equipment, but maybe they're just going to mentor me because my wife's friend and they're a successful business person and I got my papers out. So, let me go and get some free mentorship. But it turns out, and they said, give me a price point, how much all this would cost of all the stuff that I want to do. And I had all my stuff ready as if I had equipment. So I was able to give them a price point of what it would cost. After I sat down and showed them everything, they were like, wow, this looks great. You guys are good to go. How about I'll buy all your equipment that you need that you have on this list. And when you're done, we'll call it evens. And I was like, what? So we did the deal, and within 3 months we were debt free, and it was like about roughly around $35,000 worth of equipment. That's including cameras. We had got the back in the day the Panasonic P2s, HVX 200s, and we had the Final Cut and all that stuff. So we needed all, and lights, and wireless mics and stuff like that. All the stuff we needed to just start to be a small production company to get going. And from there, that's when Fruition Life Media started. And we were just doing videos at the time. And so one of the important things, I know I keep saying it, figure out what type of videos you want to do. Two, figure out how are you going to finance this. We were trying to do it organically and raising our own money, but God took it to a whole nother level by putting us in a position just by our faith and stepping out and operating as if we already had equipment, laying out everything, moving forward. And I think that helped push it along, and then trusting to give to someone else to help them, which we still do. We help other production companies and give advice, and we don't keep nothing a secret because we believe what's for us is for us, and that it's so big out there and vast that there's always business out there, so we don't have to compete with people. And I found that it's been very fruitful by because sometimes other productions form out their work. I've edited stuff for other production companies and shot stuff for other production company. It looks great for them. And they like, we like your editing style. We want you to do this. And it's making them money, but it's making me money too. So that's another way as you're starting out, work for other production companies, even though you have your own. And if you're not getting enough business, one, you get the experience. Two, you're going to get a check. And, so it keeps money in your pocket,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yep.
you don't have to feel so like, I want to be, this production company. Your work will stand out by itself. People will get used to it. And eventually they'll come to you because they realize, oh, they can't produce that no more. When you can't work for them anymore, they're going to find what kind of, who has that style of editing, storytelling, that style of shooting. So that's going to be ways of keeping money in your pocket, doing production. So as we continue to grow part time, our businesses was picking up more clients, doing more things. We trying to I want to talk about something else, but I don't want to go too far. I want to
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to pace myself because I want to really get into the thing that really why you reached out to me when I was talking about subscriptions and all that.
Yes.
Which was a different form of how we operated. But as you know it, in video production, a lot of us do one-offs. And once we do the one-off, we're off trying to find some other business entity that is looking for the service that you do. And what I found was that, that's fine, but how do I continue to get a consistent cash flow? And what do I need to do to, get a monthly, retainer or something where I know what's coming in and I can still do one-offs, but let me dedicate myself with an organization and help grow their business. So that's always been pondering in my mind, but I never put it into place. And so in 2019, I
Mm-hmm.
guess that was pre-pandemic or something like that, we all had a lot of time to think and
Yeah, the good
figure
old
out,
days.
everybody was pivoting and, trying to figure out what they can do since they had all this extra time. Me working still in news at the time, I had, still working, but not as much because they didn't send us out on many stories because of COVID. So I had a lot of time to sit at home. And then during that COVID time, my vacation came up. So I had a staycation. So the whole week I never came out and I put a plan together. Um, it was like hearing God giving me all these different instructions on how to implement this business. So the first thing was that we were going to stop Fruition Life Media. One, it was hard for people to say, as you found out. Two, it still had meaning though. So I struggled with that. I was like, well, we built this brand of Fruition Life Media, doing all these different corporate videos and internal stuff for them, and some commercials for TV. And so, but how do we, transition, start a whole different name? And so the name Creative Content on Demand came because the way technology is going, everybody was, they got their little device, phones, iPads, and they needed content for social media. And so the plan was to evolve, and eventually in production we did video, we did photography, and with the technologies that people have, the cameras that they got are pretty much you know they're not always video cameras like this, but they could be, you know, a camera like this that they would shoot their videos with. Now you got two sources that you can use in terms of taking pictures or doing video. So that's the second portion of the income that you can, capitalize on. So when you start a production company, figure out what type of equipment that you want to get that's you're gonna get the most bang out of. So getting like a a camera like this that takes pictures and video at the same time was going to allow you to be able to, be versatile or flexible. If someone just, hey, we just need a photographer. Hey, I can take the pictures. Hey, we just need a videographer. Hey, I can do the video. So
Mhm.
now you've opened the door. So now you can, capitalize on two different sources. For me and my wife, because of our background in news and the years we've been in news, my wife used to produce a couple of shows, and me being a photographer, we knew how to write press release. And so what we did, we added in for Creative Content on Demand when we started that, was video production, digital photography, social media management, because we understood that, and also public relations and brand consulting, which came on afterwards because I did take some marketing classes back in the day, but I understand marketing. And so by doing that, we're like, we need to put this in a subscription plan. That way, companies for small, and we focus on small and mid-sized companies, although we did have a package for bigger corporations who are looking to enhance their marketing department. But what we did know is that these small businesses, these mid-sized businesses, don't have that type of service. They don't have a marketing department. And if you offer something like that for them, that's going to change their game up, so then they can have leverage over their larger counterparts to do business, right?
Mhm.
So being very diverse in our production company by offering these different things, and you don't and fortunately for us, we knew all these elements, and though they were our lanes. But even if you're a production company, you can partner with someone who does know how to take pictures, who does know how to do social media, who does know how to, write a press release, and offer someone, which I like to call it, a virtual marketing department. And one of the things how I sell it to people is that, hey, you don't have to expand your building, you don't have to hire anybody, you don't have to buy expensive equipment or update it. We do all that. All you have to do is focus on the thing that matters, which is your business. And trying to do social media, trying to do your own videos, that's a job in itself, and it distracts you from really, pushing out your business. And when you have a team like that who's thinking outside the box, who's always trying to help your business grow and learn your business, to be able to say, oh, let's do this type of campaign, and we'll, put this on social, we'll get press on it, depending on what the subject is. Not
Mhm.
everything can be a press, but you'd be surprised with all these. Today is National blah 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 day, and if that company fits in there, guess what, you can get press out there depending on how you write the letter.
Mhm.
But one of the key things I'll say about press is numbers. TV stations, all they care about is number. How many people are going to be, affected by this story? How many people are going to, uh, be at this event?
Yeah.
Because their numbers is dealing with ratings. So if they send a crew out there, they see whatever station's there, they expect that these people are going to watch their station. Therefore, their ratings go up. Their sales team can sell their commercial spots a little bit more because they got more people watching on viewerships. That's how that works. So if PR is all about numbers when it comes to TV and so on and so forth, but
So
not to go
let
away.
So let
Yeah.
me ask you this question, not to interrupt you, of course.
No, that's fine. That's
But let me ask you this question. Because you mentioned the news in here. Talk about
fine.
like press releases, everything like that. Do you feel like the news is still a viable option for businesses to really get their name out there, especially if they're doing like a event or
Mhm.
something along those lines?
I definitely, because what here's the great thing about it, especially when we tie in social media, when
Mm-hmm.
a news organization comes out, and depending on what market you're in. So here in Philly, I live in Jersey, but here in Philly, it's a top four market, right? So that's like four something million people or whatever that's that you're having to broadcast to. And so there's CBS, ABC, Fox, and NBC stations, and then a couple of other stations that are just public stations that you can get to have your say the business you're working with. If they come out and videotape your stuff and put it on the news, they're going to also put it on their websites. And you tie your social stuff, your websites to those particular things that are on the news. So what happens is, one, it builds the trust and credibility of your company that who's getting the representation. Two, it's the best free advertisement that you can possibly get, because when you have a news anchor talking about an event that you did in the community, your company supporting blah blah blah, it's always a good look for that particular organization. And then the other thing is that um, it brings a great volume of people wanting to investigate. Let me go to their website. Let me go to their social site and see what they're about, because I didn't know that they were around. And so it always goes back to, there's a call to action to it, even though they're doing something nice to the community, for the community. But hey, let's capitalize on that to let people know that, hey, I'm in this particular area and this is the type of product or service that I have to offer, based off of what you see me giving away. And people love to support that. So it's still is definitely viable. And because TV also pivoted as well, they're broadcasting not only on television, but they're also on social, because they know people are walking around riding the subways and watching the broadcast on there,
Mm-hmm.
staying informed. So there's that audience. And you want to be able to cast your net wide, especially when you're trying to help a company grow. So creative content on demand on I messed up my name. Creative content on demand. So it's totally forgiving when you were messing. No, I'm just like,
Cool,
it's all
cool.
good.
Just
No,
making
no.
sure. Just making
I
sure.
got tucked. So our slogan is, helping business grow.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we say that, because, most mid-size or small business don't get that fair shot. And when they do start getting, notoriety on television, when they do have a consistency with the social media, and we do it organically. I know a lot of people do ads, with Google ads or Facebook ads. And we build our stuff organically with the different videos that we create, or the pictures that we, product placement pictures that we put out there, and try to get people to be interactive and share it. And and it works, but you can do target marketing with Google ads, which I know a lot of production companies are using as a retainer. They'll do a production shoot and charge them one lump sum, and then have a retainer that they would do for Google ads, and which I think is a great tool and whatnot. We haven't been implementing that, but I have been taking some courses on LinkedIn of learning about, just I understand it, but I just, before I offer anything, I want to make sure I perfect it, use it for myself, test drive it before I would offer it to anybody else and say, hey, yeah, this is what we do. So and it's a good thing that you do that too. Like when you buy equipment, test drive
Mm-hmm.
that thing, understand that camera, understand what its capabilities do, because when you shoot, you'll start and you edit at the same time. If you know how to edit, that's great. And because that's going to allow you to shoot certain ways that you would normally shoot, because in post, oh, if I shoot this way, I can do this in my edit suite. So
Yeah.
it's so you want to learn everything inside and out so you can offer the best for your clients, right? All it's
Mm-hmm.
going to do is make you more profitable and keeps you from just always being this one trick pony. I don't know why I did a swoosh like that, but I don't know what that reference was, but you don't want to be a one trick pony. You want to be very versatile and diverse in the things that you can offer for production, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask me a question if I'm just rambling and
N-
whatnot, but
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, because
but
honestly, like you're giving a master class right now. Like, hey, a lot of the stuff because you went over a lot of the stuff that like, hey, a lot of people have questions about, and I like to throw a question in there,
Yeah.
because I think you highlighted it, but it's something that I want to dig a little bit deeper in.
Yeah.
If you were to give the audience 5 things they can do right now to build their own video production company, how
Mhm.
exactly, what would those 5 things be?
That's a good question. So one, I would say, hmm, there's so many things to say. Let me see where I dip from here.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to keep it basic, right?
Hmm.
So 5 things to be profitable with your business, right? Video production. And we're
Yes.
saying that they already have their equipment and all that, right?
Well, to just get it started, like let's say
Okay,
they're a
so
clear beginner, they say, "Hey, I want to do
so
video. How do we
all
get
right.
started?"
So first, let's get our paperwork done. Man, I see a gnat. Hopefully that's not getting on camera. But anyway, let's get our let's get our paperwork done first. And whether you're going to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, Inc. Incorporated, something like that, you want to make sure that your paperwork, your business is legit, and you're going to go through your government to get that established, right? That's one, because you want to, pay your taxes and be on, on point with that, because you want to have opportunities, because what people are going to ask you if you're working for uh, a corporation, what's your EIN number? And you want to have that, if you're sole proprietor, then it's your social security. And I don't know if you want to really give out your social security. An LLC will protect you more. God forbid something, you get sued, then you can just create another corporation and just shut that one down.
Exactly. So you
But
just do
your
that.
right, sole proprietorship, they taking your home, they taking your cars,
Hmm.
seizing your freeze your bank account is more personal.
Taking your
So
cat as well,
right,
your bacon
exactly
that's in the
right.
refrigerator too.
Right.
Like they'll
But
take all of it.
but hopefully you're doing business that respectively, that would never happen, that you're delivering the work that they paid you for and all that. So anyway, so paperwork, that's one. Two, figure out what type of video production you're going to do. Are you going to focus on weddings, because that's a whole industry in itself, and you can do very well with that? Are you going to focus on corporate? Are you the type of person that likes to go to talk with different corporates and help them visualize how your business can help benefit them and grow their business? Because you need to be able to talk or have someone who can communicate that to them. So you either need a salesperson, or you put on your sales hat to be able to talk with them and find a price point that's comfortable. A lot of people start in this industry and, hey, I'll do it for $500.
No, don't do
There's no
that.
work that's work. I mean, there's some college people who are trying to, hey, down on luck and need some money. I get it. But, if you're trying to be a reputable business person, be firm with your prices. Know your worth. Don't, people don't realize all the work that goes in. There's a lot of work and hours, from shooting to editing and posts. It's a lot of work. So don't, dumb yourself down. Be firm with your prices, be confident with your prices, and let them know, I can do all these things that you're looking for us to do, but it's going to cost this, you
Hmm.
know and let them figure out how to, uh meet that demand. But don't what you don't want to do will is do a lot of work for less money. And I tell you, you won't be in business much longer, because the joy is going to get put out. um and you're going to start starving.
Yes.
So, and you want to be able, for me, I like to have a crew on the scene, because
Hmm.
hey, you can focus on video, you can focus on audio. I know that when we come back, that person was focused on that particular job, and everything we're gonna have to do a reshoot shoot. And you don't ever want to have a call, hey, we had a problem, we didn't get your audio. That's never good.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So you want to have people to be able to attend on certain things, lighting, making sure
Hmm.
that's right. But when you try to do it yourself, and I've done it where I try to do it myself, because I had the news background, so I would do my own lighting, my own audio, and all that stuff. But it really doesn't work that well in corporate, because you'll forget something and you don't want to have to do a retake. So it looks unprofessional. So we're talking about, just to recap before we
Hmm.
go to the next one, getting your paper right, figuring out what type of videographer you want to be, production, and it'll expand down the road. But I would say hone in on the thing that you do best and then build out from there, because you'll start doing other things and learning more about, how good you are or
Mhm.
how bad you are, one of the two. Hey, I need to hire some people, I'm not that well in this area. And then what was the other one I said was oh uh well, I guess that was still two, talking about putting on the sales hat and whatnot, if you're more corporate. So
Yeah.
three, I would say, what's a good one for three? Um, real oh, so being a business person, you really need to either hire a book, because when you start making decent money, start off making sure that you're using QuickBooks or something like that. Keep your finances in order. Understand what's coming in, what's going out. Because as you grow, it's going to be important for you to have what they call is a profit and loss sheet or a
Mhm.
balance sheet. And it's going to help you really know, hey, discipline you, one, two, know what's going out and what's coming in, and if this is making sense to continue to do this. If you're under, upside down, then maybe it's not the best fit, or you need to pivot and come up with some other ideas. But you really want to get your finance on point. Don't be loose with that, because at the end of the year, you want to make sure that your taxes are straight. And if you're paying out contractors, keeping on point on how much money is going out, because they're gonna you have to 1099 them. So make sure that you're, just because you're being creative, and that's fine, but also you're gonna have to put on an accountant hat, right? To
Yeah.
have your business flowing. So just being a good business person. So these are the things that people aren't really realizing about having a production company, because you just think, oh, we just shoot some stuff, we get paid and call it a day. Now you want to make sure that you have good booking. With that, I was include in three is, because you got your LLC, now you can establish a bank account in your company's name. And when you do that, you want to have like three accounts with that company. Your business account
Mhm.
is one. You want to have an account for payroll, seeing what's going on. And you want to have an account that you're setting aside money to pay taxes. You got to pay taxes on this money that you're making, right? It's just not all free money.
No.
And so you want to have those three accounts. So that's another little thing that you really want to establish and keep fine tuning, because if you're doing really well, your business will grow. A lot of our business comes from word of mouth from other companies. Who did that video for you? And those guys who own businesses, they are all a part of chambers and networking and whatnot. And they discuss, oh, they did this for us, And so a lot of your work you'll find coming from word of mouth, which is a good thing. That's the best advertisement. So that's one thing. So let's go to four. Four, let's see here. What's a good one? This. Let me think here. So we talked about paper. We talked about what type of video. We talked about bank accounts, and also um, understanding like QuickBooks for a team. Getting a good team. So you may not be versatile. I know people who have production companies and don't know nothing about videotaping or editing, but they have they're organized. So you want to be a good organizer when you start in a video production, finding quality people who knows what they're doing. And that goes back to the rate thing. By getting quality people, you got to pay a quality pay, right?
Yeah.
But that at the end of the day, the work is going to be expected to be good. So finding a good team that you work with, I've worked with different people, and sometimes we click, sometimes we don't. It's like, oh, well, the work was great, but we really don't connect, and sometimes that really don't matter as long as the job is done.
Mhm.
But I like my sets to feel very comfortable, because a lot of these people that we were videotaping never been on camera before, and they start seeing all these cameras and lights and stuff. They get all nervous, and once they see us all relaxed and injecting them in our conversations and laughing, they almost feel like it's family. And every time we leave, we walk away like, we just adopted another family, or they felt the same way. So it's fun on the set, not stressful, not so much, hey, we got to get these shots and these lights and, stand up here. We do a couple of takes like how we started out, right? It
Yeah.
started out a conversation, before we started recording and all that. And that's one of the things that's going to really change your video production, just having that type of personality on set, making people feel comfortable, and giving them that confidence that, oh yeah, you can do this, and all you got, just, we're going to take care of all this, all you got to do is talk, we got you covered.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a being a great manager, being organized, knowing good talent is going to help your business grow. Because remember, you can't do it all, even though you probably can, or you would like to save money. But it's better to go ahead and get a team with you, and a consistent good team, and you can make more videos and build your business even better by having a good crew. So
Yeah.
finding a good crew, being organized is number 4. And number 5, as I try to think of this fifth one that I'm pulling from the hat here. I would take my hat off and pull it off, but my hair is a mess right now because I didn't get to get a haircut. But
Hey,
anywho,
I understand how it is. No, I understand how it is.
number 5, let's see here. Um, I would recommend, as you entering into this video production, um, is just always having a vision to grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't stay stagnant. And I know I talk about a lot about versatile, but running a business is much like, if you understand stocks and trades, they say have a diverse, portfolio. You want to do that with your production company. Be diverse, make sure that you're having a vision like, hey, we got this video production going. What do we want to see ourselves in the next year or two? We want to offer, photography, expand how your business operates, what kind of clients do we want to, focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Have a plan to always grow, and continue to just, check those off. And as you check them off, add on new things. And before you know it, you're what some would say, oh, he has a small little production company, a little part-time thing he's doing becomes a big corporation. And our vision, and those are the 5. Our vision, when we started Fruition Life Media, it was a production company, but
Mm-hmm.
now it expanded to video production. I'm sorry, photography. But then creative content, we're like, okay, we're going to do creative content on demand and offer press release, and offer social media management, brand consulting. And this is all going to be business to business service. Now, Fruition Life Media, we changed that to business to customer service, B2C service, right? And so our slogan, Fruition Life, used to be visionaries beyond the lens. That was our thing. We had this lens thing, and we were thinking beyond the lens, that we were trying to tell people we think outside the box.
Yeah.
But it changed to now Fruition Life Media, preserving family legacies. So what we offer for that, during COVID, we were doing multi live streaming cameras for funerals, because only 10
Mm-hmm.
people could go to the funeral. So we were offering that, and we would stream that through Zoom. And then we would finish it off with our legacy videos. The legacy videos were the clients would submit to us all these different pictures of their family members who they loved, and we would create the signature style video. It wasn't just like a regular picture video. It was like really telling a story, and that's where we use our news background to be able to tell a story, infuse interviews and all that kind of stuff to make this really, sit well in set outside the box, opposed of, because funeral homes were offering picture movies, but
Yeah.
we needed to be able to offer something totally different, something that they'll be proud to have and share with their friends and family. So we would play that video right after the funeral, because some of the funerals were really sad, and
Mm-hmm.
they felt like they were there because we would have 3 cameras there, shooting from all different angles. And and took them to the cemetery. We were using the video and having 4 cell phones bonded with the video system, so we could stream that out, out in the cemetery. So we gave them everything, and then we would play the video of the life legacy. And then we also do honorarium videos where they're honoring people or for birthdays. And so that's what Fruition Life Media became now. So we knew that having a production company serving corporate would not work serving consumers for that, because they're not going to come to a production company, hey, can you do this? They're not even thinking like that. But if I can create a business focused upon that particular area, then even though it's under the same umbrella, they are more subjected to be reaching out, calling us, hey, I'm looking to have a video done for this, for my family. We're having a birthday party. We want to have this play. And a lot of people these days, the way they have parties, they book halls and they want to showcase, videos and stuff like that. So it works.
Mm-hmm.
Life legacy videos, they work. If formed it, I lost my son. I did a video that healed me and others who saw it at his, his homegoing. He lived
Rest in
for 40
peace.
days. Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And my father passed away in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I did a video, and I remember I sent that down back home to Texas, and the funeral director was like, "Who did this video? Because I would pay you for that." Pay them
Mm-hmm.
for that, because I've never seen anything like that. We had people coming from the other room and just watching the video. And I asked them, did they know your father? And they're like, no, we were just watching this video. It was interesting. I never really thought of it being that for people as a business, because it was just a way for me to express uh, how I felt. And when I looked at it, it really healed me. And I lost a good friend who also had a video production company, who was, it was unexpected. Young guy, passed away. And I did a video for him. And God was like, you thought these were just for you? These videos are going to help other people. And so we opened it up and started presenting it to people for opportunities and helping families connect, and, doing the live streams, because we used to do that for different churches and set them up as well. Oh, that's another thing. Your
Mm-hmm.
talents there. So we did consulting. That's another thing that you can do. You can consult. You don't really have to pull out the cameras, but if you understand how the flow of cameras, like understand switchboards, and the technology is so easy nowadays, you can really set it up yourself. But when you go to different churches, they have no clue. And so you can, be consulted, make money from consulting. That's another
He's
diverse.
dropping knowledge right now, guys. I hope you guys understand that he's dropping knowledge, because that was definitely a question that I wanted to get into. Is that, how do you figure out what services to provide? Because I know you were saying just do the type of video content that you love, do the type of video content that you're interested in doing. But how do you really get started? Because the number one question that anybody has when they're starting a production company is, how do I find clients? How do I know what they want? Where do I go? So how would you go about that?
So a lot of a lot of it happened from word of mouth. I was doing the stuff that I felt comfortable doing, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why I say that, because you eventually perfect it where you're comfortable doing all kinds of things. So that's why I say do the stuff you're comfortable. Is always expand. And a lot of that came from word of mouth. But you have to also put on your sell hats and just, hey, get a newspaper. This is how I find it. So if I see a billboard,
Hmm.
if I see an ad in a newspaper or magazine that's local, I know then that person has an advertising budget.
Yes.
So that's the first key, of finding those people. Look at the billboards, and billboards aren't cheap. Listen to the radio ads that you listen to your radio, write those companies down. And
Hmm.
then if you're doing commercials, if you're doing stuff for social media for them, it don't have to be television commercial, because television ads are expensive, right? It
Yeah.
depends on what market you are. If you're in a smaller market, it works. But I worked in television, and I know some ads can run $30,000, to fifty
Yeah.
thousand dollars,
That's a lot.
and and mom and pop stores aren't going to pay that. Even radio ads can be expensive. Billboards are expensive.
Hmm.
So that tells you, one, they have a budget. And visit with them. Make sure that you have a plan. Study, research that company that you want to approach, right? Once you research that company and find out what it is that they're about and what they're doing, figure out what they're lacking in. And if you don't know, try to get a meeting with them and say, hey, I'm Blas. Hey, I'll just use myself. Hi, I'm James Ward with Creative Content on Demand. I'm looking at your company website and noticed y'all had a couple of billboards, and I've been on your social sites. I wanted to talk with you if you're interested in knowing how we can start creating video content for you so you can get a digital footprint in this industry. You don't want to miss out on that, because a lot of people have digital pads nowadays and on their computers, and most people watching YouTube opposed of, or streaming services opposed to regular television. So you want to be able to cross that board too. I love to come in and sit down and show you how we can help you enhance and grow your business. Stuff like that will get you a foot in the door, right?
I hope you
And
guys are taking notes because he literally just gave you what you need to email someone. He literally just gave it to
I'm
you.
telling you, that gets you in the door. And when you talk to people, because you have to put your sales hats on. When you talk to someone and you have that opportunity to, speak with them, let them ask them, what is it that they're great in the service? What's doing well? What services that you like to see enhanced that that's a good product or a service that you do, but most people aren't aware of it or aren't buying in it because it's missing its marketing strength of it. So once you find those particular areas, you could talk to them about how you want to amplify the thing that's already doing well. And, if it's doing well, let's repeat that. We're just going to do it with video now
Mhm.
and create some campaign. And let's talk about the other areas that are not don't have that much strength and win in their sales. So let's talk about how we can add some more win in that sale by creating a campaign for these type of videos. So now you're creating different, production shoot days. You're creating different production edits, and you're creating some wealth for yourself. So
Mhm.
you're not only helping them, but you're helping yourself. And when you go in really having the heart to help someone and see their business grow, it's going to benefit you. So if you really go in with that right attitude of like, how can I help this business? What areas are you guys needing to succeed? Your business will succeed. And one of the things that we like with our clients, especially when we're doing social campaigns, for them to tell us, do not run an ad. Don't do this. Don't. And it
Mhm.
sounds crazy, but what they're saying is that they're overwhelmed and we've hit our mark. And we tell them, well, it looks like you guys are ready to grow. You might need to expand, so we can keep doing what we do. But it's a good problem that they're telling us, nah, don't run an ad this time. And that makes me feel good to know that, their business is growing. Therefore, our business inevitably has to grow because their business is growing. So those are the things you want to do is listen. And when you see them writing stuff down, that means you're doing something. When you start helping them visualize how you can help them with video, because you know it's one thing, yeah, they know you can do video, but you need to articulate to them how the approach of doing a shoot and what the messaging of the shoot, the end result should produce.
Mhm.
Now this is, and I say should produce because nothing is guaranteed. You can shoot the best video and it may not work for them. But
True.
going in with the full heart of like, I really want to be, I see myself as a cheerleader,
Yes.
with pom poms, these virtual pom poms. Like, I'm coming in here, I'm about to cheer for you. I'm that guy that's out there on the street, flipping the cars. Come over here, but I'm doing it with video. And that's the attitude I have when I talk to these business people, because one thing you have to remember going in is that they started these companies with their blood, sweat, and tears, just like you start your video production with your blood, sweat, and tears. And you want to make sure that you respect that. I tell all my clients that, I thank you for trusting us with your business, because they're not, they're spending a lot of money.
Mhm.
And so, and I said, I need you to understand that, you trusting us with your business is like I'm running a daycare and you're handing your baby to me. And when you hand your baby to me, you want to make sure when that baby is presented, when you come back and pick that baby up, the baby's clean, the baby's doing a whole lot better. You taught the baby something that they wouldn't otherwise be able to teach the baby.
Mhm.
And that's what I like. That's how I see the companies, like, oh, you're handing me your baby. This is what you worked hard. This is your pride and joy. And I want to make sure I hand this pride and joy back, looking better than you gave the baby. So that's the duty of a good video production company that's helping businesses. I mean, or doing anything creative, is to be able to enhance their business. So go in, focus like I'm here to help. So instead of saying, I'm trying to make as much money as I possibly can. All that stuff falls in place when you have the right heart and the integrity, and you know, um, communicate. Man, I'm gonna add that in number 6.
Mhm. Yeah, just add
Communicate.
that into there.
Number 6. I know you said 5, but let's say communication. That's important. Communicate with your clients, let them know the status, let them know, hey, this is going to take us XYZ to, shoot, edit, and deliver. And if there's a hiccup or whatever the case may be, communicate, because they're already planning how they want to market this or whatever the case may be. They have this expectation. But if there's anything, do not communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Always let them know, hey, just want to let you know everything's going great with your video, blah, blah, blah. And with the technology nowadays, you can use, well, I used to do this program called F-Stop, and I let people review their videos that way, and they can mark and make notations of time codes, and then you can turn your video back around quick. And plus, it lets them know, oh, we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people wait and they're like, are they really working on my stuff? You still have those people. Um, but but um but now Dropbox actually has a beta like that. So I stopped f-stop and I save money, and I just use it in Dropbox. So they have the same, like either they stole that information. I shouldn't say stole, I don't know, but they have that same technology. They probably bought the licensings of it, I don't know. But so
Mm-hmm.
it didn't make sense to have that and Dropbox at the same time. So now you have a one-stop shop where you can deliver stuff, because most people back in the day, we used to burn them on DVDs. I'll go even further back, VHSs. But now, the deliverables are digital because we're using them for digital platforms. And even when we send commercials out for television, it's all digital. So you're going to need a Dropbox or something like that that can handle, quality files. Also, get you a good Wi-Fi system. Make sure you can upload and download stuff real quick. So you want to buy the highest bandwidths that you can possibly get. So, don't just get the standard. Make sure you have something that's going to be able to upload and download. So you're going to pay a little bit more money, but it all makes sense when you're getting consistency of work. Those things get paid off. Plus, you're going to be able to write those things off as tax write-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment, paper, dinners that you go out and having, business lunch or networking. Get involved in chambers, your local chamber. That's where you're going to see the difference. A lot of our business, really jumped when we got involved with the local business chamber. There's a whole bunch of them in different towns, but make sure that you check them out. Make sure that people attend them, because some corporations send somebody to represent them, if not the owner themselves. And that's when you get the time to pitch your business. That's when you get the time to network and learn about other business people, or partnership and network. I don't do graphics, although I do them for myself, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
offer it to clients because that's not my lane. But I was able to partnership with a person who does do graphics. I don't do the SEOs, and I don't do build websites. A lot of our clients, hey, we want to update our websites. Well, we don't do that. But through a chamber, I was able to partnership with a company that does, and we put a package together. Then your business grow because their clients are looking for video, which they don't do. So it works hand in hand. So you really got to get out there and be your own cheerleader and meet people, talk, and find out who does what, and follow up. Get those business cards that you, hey, it was a pleasure speaking with you on such and such a day. I just want to follow up, and maybe we can set up another meeting where we can talk more in depth about what we discussed earlier. Those little things, those little efforts really can change your business and grow your business rapidly. And it shows people that you're serious. It shows people that you're accountable. It shows people that you remember their names. You shake the
Mm-hmm.
hand, hi, I'm John, such and such. Hey, pleasure to meet you, John, such and such. Say their name again before you let that hand go, because you're going to meet so many people, but 9 times out of 10, you'll remember that person's name. So, and people appreciate that. Wow, they remember me. Then guess what? They want to write you a check.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It gives them that personable feeling, and it doesn't feel like you just looking at them as, oh, well, they're just another number, they're just another,
Mhm.
paying client and stuff like that. Um, so to move on to, because I have two more questions to you for you before we get into the 2 minute pitch segment. And that's always my fun part of these interviews, because I love like seeing business owners describe their businesses. Um, so one question that I have for you is, because this happens to a lot of people, especially when they're first starting. And this could be for anything that you do in life. What do should you do, or what do you do when things start feeling bad? Like things start feeling
Mhm.
wrong. You don't know where to go with your business. It just feels like everything's hopeless, and like you just want to quit. Like, how do
Yeah.
you get past that?
So I've had I've had moments where, I've worked with clients that could be difficult. And I've come across, in my business, I've come across all different personalities. And wasn't so much of a situation where I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't a good idea. We're not making any money. I've never had that experience, fortunately and thankful by the grace of God. But I've had some clients that kind of like, should I be doing this? you know? And so the way I handle that is the only way I handle anything else, man. It's just prayer, faith, and determination. We're going to have those, and realizing that, what, I had a bad day. Every day ain't gonna be good. You're gonna have a bad day. Every day, you're not gonna have a day where it's just perfect. You're gonna have something, a digital glitch. You're gonna have something. Hey, nobody's buying today. But even if that's the case, still go out and pitch. Always just go out, do 10. Try to talk to 10 different businesses a day. And you may get 10 no's. But each week, just talk to someone, because what you're going to be doing is really building your confidence up, learning about yourself. Hey, what did I do wrong? What I didn't, how wasn't I not convincing about this? Because you're really learning yourself. It's almost like golf. Golf is a one man sports. You're only battling against yourself, right? So
Hmm.
if you are going out and trying to close deals and you're not being that successful at it, you're going to learn, really pay attention, record yourself if you're over the phone, record the conversation, videotape yourself. You got the equipment, and then play it back and see, what did I go wrong, and let somebody else watch it. Where did I go wrong? Did I sound too hungry? Was I not helping them? One thing I'll say about sales, and I'm still talking about the question that you asked, is that people are going to spend money. People know that, hey, I need marketing. People know that, hey, I need this, for example, I need water, or whatever the case may be. I'm going to a picnic. The ideal is to be able to help them visualize why they should spend money with you, you know. And if you figure that out, like,
Key,
hey,
key,
yeah,
guys. That's a major key right there, guys. Hmm.
because at the end of the day, we're always buying something. We're always purchasing something. And the item that get purchased the most is by the person who did the best campaign of presenting why you need this in your life. And your ideal for video is to explain to them why they need this in their life,
Hmm.
by listening to them about their issues and coming up with solutions, how video can help solve that. I talked to a company at a networking event at a chambers, and they were like, man, we having issues hiring people, and it's hot in there and people are getting hurt sometimes. So I was like, oh, well, I think it would serve you guys to have a training video that will help properly train people, and also come up with a campaign talking about what your company is offering, and benefits, and things of that nature, and run a social campaign so people be like, oh yeah, I want to work for them. So they don't even know that you guys are one of the largest companies that are producing an item that everybody's using. So I mean, those type of things will help you continue to work on your salesmanship, but also work on your confidence when you're having those days, because all it takes is that one yes, and you're like, yeah, we're doing it, and
Exactly.
you get to showcase what it is that you do. You get to arrive. It's like our Super Bowl. Each time we get a yes, and we get to go and do what we love, and thankfully, you know, get paid for that, and help them. So that's the whole key of overcoming those down days. Is just staying persistent, making the phone calls, and not letting the no's bother. One no is just one step away from yes, and one no also is you being able to learn your craft and what you need to get better at. So you
Exactly.
didn't lose in the end game. You never lost. It's always a learning lesson, in training session. Not learning lesson,
Exactly.
training session. So look at
Exactly.
it that way.
And so for me, because honestly, I feel like we could probably be sitting here talking for, hours. We can make a master class here, guys, when we because the amount of knowledge and the amount of like just understanding of your craft and everything else that you've been doing, you understand it. So my last question for you, and this is going to be more of a personal one since we kind
Mm,
of got into psyche wise. You
yeah.
know, in the media industry, you don't see a lot of people that kind of look like us.
Mm,
You do, but sometimes it's hard to find those people who are like the big ones, the ones who are like ahead of everyone else, especially here on YouTube. It's kind of hard to find people like us talking about how to start a video production company, how to, build a media company or something along those lines.
yeah.
What would you say is how does it feel to, be a black person in video production business or even be a black filmmaker? Like, how does
Yeah.
that feel?
So, I mean, for me, I feel like, especially when we're on production shoots and we're at some big corporate company and they come to me, or and I'm talking to them about what we're getting ready to do and so on and so forth, or having those negotiations. I really, and I guess a little bit of it too, working in news, I've worked with so many different people, different cultures and things. But as a black person, I think, is it challenging to get the work? Are we underserved as a black production company or a minority owned production? And I'll say today's date, it's much different because now you can sign up and get your, hey, we're a minority owned business. My wife, I made her, well, we had her be 51% as the president because she's also minority, Asian, and she gets the women's business owners certificate. So corporations are looking for to operate with those businesses. Mm. With that said, I got to say something. Just samgov.com,
Mm-hmm.
samgov.com. We'll come back to that. I just want to say it out loud. But
Okay.
with that said, I don't let that be like a hiccup for me. I never even think about it because our work speaks so much volume of what we do and our integrity. So if I do come a, up to a client that I'm kind of getting the vibe like, oh, they see a black man over the phone, they hear this, and then they see a black man. I don't let, I focus on the job, what we can do, you know. And at the end of the day, that's all that they're looking for. There may be some people that, hey, I don't want to work with you guys, I don't know if you guys can do it, and whatever the case may be. But our work and the way we go in and articulate how, we are going to operate and help your business grow, at that point, it becomes, oh yeah, money is green,
Exactly.
and the race part comes out because when we start talking about the same color thing, which, if you're a business owner, that's what you need. So you're not really gonna, kind of go somewhere else, just
Mm-hmm.
because of the color. Now you can, but at the end of the day, at what risk? At what risk? If this
Exactly.
person can do this, that would be stupid of that person to, decide, hey, well, I want to do this because, A, B, and C. So it's never on my mind. Have I come across some people like that? Yes, my intuition was like, I know, but it's all good. We're gonna make your business grow. Just everybody be respectful. And that's the thing too, have integrity, though, and respect for yourself. So if somebody's disrespecting you, you don't have to stick around. Never let any client disrespect you or your crew. And I've nipped that in the bud. I'm like, we don't talk like this, and I don't talk to my crew like this. We're all grown adults here, and if there's a problem, we'll be happy to work that out. But what you won't do is disrespect my crew, or we'll break our equipment down and leave. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you still pay because if you got your contract right, you that's another thing, get a lawyer that's catering to your contract. Just don't just get something offline. What it is that you do, make sure you have a lawyer that's write a contract that's going to protect you, because something like that happen, you want to have some verbiage in there saying, hey, we can drop at any moments if we feel that we're in danger, or if disrespected, and you lose your deposit, you know
Exactly.
so you want to protect your crew. And that goes big because when the crew see you doing that, they're going to work for you all the time because they know that you're bad for them, and you're just not just letting people just disrespect them and stuff like that. And it will happen, but you do it in a professional, tasteful way that you don't look crazy doing it. You just pull them to the side and say, hey, we appreciate the opportunities, but I think we're going to have to leave because or we're gonna may have to leave if this continue on. You being disrespectful to our employees here. This is not
Hmm.
what we signed up for, and under our contract, we have the right to do this. So you're gonna miss the opportunity where you're gonna lose out on this, and that's okay. So make sure you have the backbone. Don't let people treat you like anything. Um, I went so far. I got segued from that the actual question. I hope I answered it.
No, it did answer. You did
Okay.
answer it correctly, and honestly, again, like James, you are dropping knowledge right now, man. Like honestly, I just want to sit here and listen. If you don't see the look on my face, like I just want to sit here and listen to you. But that being said, unfortunately, we can't sit here all day, so we're going to be working on the last part of how I like to do these interviews, and that is our 2 minute pitch segment. And during this 2 minutes, any business owner has an opportunity to pitch what they're currently working on or anything that they're offering. So what I like to do is actually have 2 minutes on the clock. Um,
Okay.
so I'm gonna be starting that
All right.
now.
All right, so let me just tell you about Creative Content on Demand. Creative Content on Demand is a multimedia marketing powerhouse that's servicing video production, digital photography, social media management, public relations service, and brand consulting. And basically, I like to call it a virtual marketing department where small or mid-sized businesses can uh, do a subscription and be able to have the type of leverage like their larger counterparts would have to be able to do awesome campaign videos and social media advertisement, and also doing press release, having the media come out, and digital photography for their product placements or headshots. A lot of people end up having businesses and they got an iPhone headshot representing who they are, but it's horrible, and especially on LinkedIn. So you want to have a professional photo shoot. You want to have professional shots of your food that makes people want to get hungry and come to your restaurants or use your service if you're a cleaning service, whatever the case may be. We offer those particular things for people so they can grow their business. And that's our whole motto, helping businesses grow, being able to see them go from a small to mid-sized to a large corporation, hopefully franchise. That is the ideal. And by that, keeping us along with them to grow as they get bigger. Also, Fruition Life Media. So that is designed to help people, really get over some hardship. We offer life legacy videos where we take all your videos, your pictures, and we put it in one of our signature style editing formats to tell a story. One of our producers would contact the person who hired us to do a life legacy video. We would interview them and ask them a series of questions about that particular loved one. And once we go through the interview, then we produce the video, give it back to them, whether it's honorarium video, that would be like a birthday or welcoming, military, whatever the case may be. We help these people, put their loved ones in the cloud, basically, where it always stay there forever, that they can share that with generations. Generations not going to fade. It's not going to get, if their house burned down, God forbid, they still have that content on the cloud where, most would say, I lost everything, all my precious pictures. Now we put it in such a storytelling way that you have those things. So that's what we do. I don't know if I heard the beat for the 2 minutes. I still
Yeah,
have
you went
time.
over by a little bit, by a
Okay.
little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that because honestly, I loved having you on the show, and man, you can take as much time as you want. That's cool.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah. Um, but
What?
guys, I would like to thank you all for watching. And before we go, I'd love to kick this to our guests. Do you have a question of the day for our audience today? I don't know. Can you hear me?
Oh, you were talking to
Yeah,
me?
for you. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
for
sorry.
you.
Do I a question? Okay, so I mean, the question of the day is how can I diversify my business? And Yeah, so that would be the question of the day. I have an answer for that. Of course, I talked about that, but there's two other things that I wanted to mention as well. Video production companies, if you really want to see yourself grow, you want to get involved with procurements. So you want to go to Brads and Duns, get you a Brads and Duns number, go to sam.gov and set up yourself so that you can go and find out your different codes of what represents you as a business for your state and government level. So you can start getting government contracts. So you want to do procurements. That's going to change your game and how much money you bring in. Also, beyond consulting, check with your local schools. They may be looking for a media consultant to help their kids, or a charter school. We're working on a deal right now to go into a charter school and teach. So,
Exactly.
so there's so many different things. So the question of that day would be, what, I'm kind of changing it up a little bit, but what are my options so I can diversify my business so I can make, find profit when other areas are not doing so well. You want to find something to continue to sustain. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and that, like, honestly, I might just bring you back just to talk about those things. Man, we might have to co-produce some media content this because we getting into some stuff right now. We might have to co-produce some stuff. But
Dig it.
honestly, again, James, it was such a pleasure having you here. And I want to thank everyone for watching this interview. If you want to find James, I'm gonna have all his information, all his websites in the description box. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out everything that's going on with him. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social medias, especially if you found value in this interview. Again, I'm Antoine, that's James, and I would like to thank you all for watching. I see you in the next video.
Thank you.